Welcome back. I'm not quite sure how the swinging on the chair thing works out. It's me trying to be a bit cool on my swivel chair. So it probably looks really naff, but this is John Ruffle here again with Coffee Time Talk Series 2. And if you've not watched the series, it's not too late to go to the Series 2 starting video and work your way through the first 11 videos. I was just touching on spiritual warfare based on the book of Ephesians chapter 6. And I don't know, maybe later on we'll go into a little bit more detail of that, because in 4 minutes it's hard really to open up a whole topic, especially if the idea of unseen warfare in the heavenly realms is a little bit of a scary brand new concept to you, as it was for me years ago. But don't worry about that, because the most important focus of my talks, as you've probably discovered if you've been watching for any length of time, is the centrality of Jesus Christ, the victory of Jesus Christ, and our ability as believers in Him to celebrate that victory through the Holy Communion, through intimacy of prayer, through being open to the gifts of the Holy Spirit, to caring for one another in the world, for expressing our love and concern for others through acts of love and kindness. And these are all things that make our faith animated and infuse us, fill us with God, as I said a couple of days ago. Enthusiasm for God, being filled with theos, being filled with God. And that is our privilege as believers in Jesus Christ. It's possible you're watching here today and you're thinking, my gosh, this guy, what drug is he on? And back when we were early Christians back in the 70s, quite often we'd be sharing the gospel. I remember back then I had long hair down here, and people would say, hey man, what drug are you on? You're kind of crazy guy. And they would assume that we were doing some kind of LSD or marijuana or something. We weren't. We weren't drunk, we weren't on drugs, we were just, if you excuse the expression, high on Jesus. But it was just the enthusiasm and the love that God had poured into our heart was something that we just couldn't contain. We had to share it with other people. And other people would say, why are you out sharing? We used to go into the streets of Liverpool back in the late 70s. And would go around and talk to the people coming out of the bars and nightclubs at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, whenever it was. And we'd talk to these teenagers about faith and how there was a better life to live if they just trust in God, and that all the empty glitter of this world is passing away. And sometimes they'd say, who's paying you to do this? Why are you doing this? And we'd tell them, no one's paying us. We're not professional ministers. We're here because Jesus changed our life. And we know that Jesus can change your life also. Now, I'm aware of the fact also that not everyone is called to the work of evangelism, as I was and some of my friends that we worked with as a team were back throughout the 1970s and most of the 1980s. That's probably not your calling. If it is, and you'll know it and you'll resonate with this. But we're all called to have an interior life of loving Jesus Christ. And it's that interior life that I want to commend to you today. Because when you have that interior peace, the peace that only God gives, that the world cannot give, when you embrace that peace which He offers you and gives you, everything else in your life will begin to make sense and to fall into perspective. Whether it's being a faithful housewife or a husband or a child or a teenager, or faithful serving in your church or in the job that you do, God will see you through and bless you. Well, I've gone over time. I said Series 2 is going to be only 4 minutes, and we're up to 4.5 minutes. But anyway, I just pray that you are blessed today, even as I am. Jesus is Lord, and He is the lover of your soul. Thank you for watching today.